on the inside. Final one, like we said, final one for the week. Yep, it's going. Time is definitely moving like crazy. Seems as though February 1st was, just the other day. But here we are now, already into the 15th day. Anyways, we're good to go. So, good morning if you're just joining us. Come on in, come on in, come on in. And we have a very important topic on hand this morning that I want to, um, that was inspired by a post I saw this morning, and I'm like, you know what? Um, I think now is a good time to have that conversation because we tend to shy away from these conversations. And before I go into it, let me just ask everyone to come on in and share. Um, Tamasha, you early? Hold on, let me just check. Yo, I swear, this lady had me panicking, thinking something happened, something wrong. We off air. Oh my gosh. Anyways, come on in, guys. Shanti, good morning. Tamasha, good morning. Gluma, good morning. Glendolyn, good morning. Which springs, Jackie? Spring water you're talking about? Which springs? Anyways, good morning, Colleen. Good morning, Ingrid. Melvin Brown, good morning. Shante is doing the roll call, so let me just let her do that and then we'll come back. Kizzy, good morning, sis. Listen, I saw your message and I was supposed to respond to you, but anyways, I'm good. All right. I couldn't be bothered yesterday. I I locked off my phone. It was just too much with y'all and this love, happy Valentine's, happy Valentine's. But no, jokes aside, guys, I want you all to come in quickly because I really want to touch this topic this morning. Y'all saw the heading, right? And I think we need to have the conversation. And like I said, good morning, Kizzy, I did. That's what I just said. Sonia, listen, Sonia, you need to decide what either you here or you with the Jamaicans. Pick a struggle. I only asked for about 20, 30 minutes of your time. Pretty Dawn is going to be there when we finish. It's going to still be there. So you can go back and look at it. I mean, I like Pretty Dawn, but I can't take on the cursing in my head every day and there. She makes a good point. She's entertaining, but I can't take the obscenities every second, every 2 minutes. Anyways, morning, Anushka. Anushka, your brother says he has a story to tell. I don't know what's going on with him, but I see he's spending money in Grenada. He ain't even said he passed and dropped 2 months. Girl, your brother hand tough as nail. You know, you ain't being hip to see bug wine. Peter Joseph, good morning. Morning, Jenilyn. Morning, Rondell Cornett. How are you? Sonia, settle for a couple minutes, all right? We're gonna come back. We're gonna go over to the Don when we're done. Um, Miss Jackie, I ain't even entertaining that conversation with you this morning because I know what you're doing there. Della Fletcher, good morning. Good morning. Irvin Lewison, what up? Hope all is well. Hope you guys enjoyed. Queen Bee, good morning. Um, yeah, so just chill for a little bit. Lovely Mag, good morning. So come on in, guys, and checking in from the cold. I heard you guys got snow yesterday. You know what's funny? When I came up for my birthday, I was praying for a little snow. I'm like, to TTV myself. Not one, nothing, not even a little flurry, nothing, not a thing. And look at y'all now. It's nice to look at. It looks like a nice picture out of a postcard. I really wanted it to snow. I was prepared this time. I had the whole outfit, the boots and everything, and like Really? I'm sitting there looking out the window, like just a little, just to see one little thingy. Not a zilch. But anyways, maybe next time. Yeah, it's gonna snow this weekend again. No, I guess I came at the wrong time then. Yeah, it's beautiful when it just fall, but when it turns into those chunk of ice on the side of the road, it's like, looks disgusting. But hey, we up and running. All right. So what's going on with my life this morning? What, you have something happening somewhere else? Morning, Jason. Yeah, shout out the guys at the Four Kings Barbershop out there in Brooklyn. Big up, big up. Why y'all taking long to come on in? So we have a problem with the live stream or something? Anyway, I want to talk about those who are here. Hold on, before I get into it, let me just make sure I shared myself. Morning, Trisha. Thank you. Colleen, good morning, and you were so right about that comments. I'm gonna share it shortly. Yeah, they call up the road. Um, Jackie, I realize you're feeling froggy this morning. I talked to you yesterday already. I tell you whatever you wanted to do. You're grown, you're big enough, you're working for your own money, you're turning your own vehicle key. If you want to post, post. Just don't be upset if you see posts other places. But post away, miss. There's a competition going on for Reggae Fest. Post y'all couples picture and you're getting backstage passes. And you get through last year already? No, so you could sit this one out. Don't go and tie up yourself in this thing and but miss, if you feel like looking for votes to get backstage, by all means proceed. All right. Let me just make sure I share. All right, I think we're good to go. Yeah, y'all let's just come on the live and every morning I have to beg y'all to share. Like soon as you sit down and settle down, just share the thing, now, man. Right. So yeah, as I was saying, morning, Ricky. I was scrolling through, social media this morning, right? And I saw this post. Um, how you have one? We have one mutual friend. You don't have a profile picture, and you're sending me a friend request. What are you looking for? My page is not private; it's public, so you don't need to send me a friend request to see anything. You have no picture, and we have one mutual friend. I have over 5,000 plus 20 something plus followers. And out of all of that, one mutual friend we have. And you have zero profile pic. You shall remain right where you are. Devil is a liar in 2024. Pinero, good morning. Jackie, between 12:30 and 1. Pinero, so you come in Grenada, you can't even say let you pass by the radio station and give me a late birthday present or say whole case of malt or something. Pinero, hold your hand tight so Pinero, and you're here making confusion with the wardens. Pinero, I mean, I understand your frustration because I had the same one myself. Was it Monday? And I said the same thing. I got to the traffic light. It was green, which means to go. But then there's a whole long line of vehicles in front, and they're not moving. And I'm like, what's going on? Only to realize the wardens were directing traffic, so the lights were completely ignored, whether it was on red. Then what is the purpose of the lights really? Because to me, it's doing a fantastic job, especially in the city. When it's time to move, you move. When it's time to stop, you stop. So then why put the lights on pause to direct the traffic, which is causing to be more congestion? Because there are some areas that will have more than the other, and they don't do well in balancing how many vehicles to allow to pass at a time. So then you have a long line from Melville Street all the way around. What's that street by the market? Could never remember those streets. But anyways, a long line of traffic there because by we have the wardens calling the traffic and ignoring the lights. I don't know. It's like anyways, uh, uh, that's above my pay grade. it's just confusing sometimes. So much money spent to, put those lights to work. And then they're working, and we have the wardens calling traffic. Granby Street. Thank you. Halifax and Granby. Yeah. It don't make no sense. But anyways, they know best. We can only say what we want. They don't have the reasons why they do what they do and how they do it. Um, moving on. Yeah, moving on. Someone was saying this morning I was scrolling through social media and I saw a post, a very lengthy post from a young lady who resides in the UK. And I just felt compelled to read it. It's just, I'm like, okay, this early morning, what's that about? So I sat and I read it. What I'm telling you, lengthy, is like she just poured her heart out. At the end of the day, I'm not here to blame or to point fingers because that is her side. They always say there's three sides to a story. That is her truth. That is her version of what transpired. And basically, she says that she was 12 years old. No, not 12 years old. Let me see. Around after 12. Okay, around after 12. Yeah. She was, she basically went on to list a number of names, which I'm not going to do because I'm not about to be sued. Listed names of family members who sexually molested her, from cousin to uncle to, and that is something she's lived with. She says she was sexually molested, raped, and abused by her relatives. And some of the relatives' names that were called are people that I know, and not just one of them is in no wash your foot. It's like people you know and you're like, wow. So she went into detail to call their names and detailed how they sexually um molested her and how she was abused. Four names. Four names. As a young girl. And it is crazy how when you speak up, right? That the people you think would have your back and you would get the most support from, which should be your family, they're the ones who try to protect the perpetrators the most. And you are left to live with whatever happened to you and deal with it. But in the name of protecting the family image and name, you are not to speak about it to anybody else. And even though you bring it to the forefront, they don't believe you. So, reading her story, literally, I got goosebumps. Because she said that her family ganged up against her because she was speaking out. And you would think that your mother, when nobody else has your back, your mother should be that one person who, come hell or high water, will be the one to fight for you. Physically, emotionally, any kind of you could think about, you would stop and be like, yeah, your mother has your back. And to read her story of only her grandfather, who is now deceased, being the one to literally have her back, it's sad. And she's not the only one. This rock seeps with rape culture. There was some I think I spoke about this a couple a matter of fact, I think I'm always talking about it. I can't remember which organization did it, but when it comes to sexual offenses, etc., Grenada was like in the top 10 out of all the places they did in the world. The statistic shows that Grenada, I think we came in at one or two or something like that. For a population of 100 and something thousand people, we literally could fit into a state in the US, into Jamaica, into Trinidad. To be branded as one or two of the countries with the highest number of rape, etc., is a cause for serious concern. Imagine as a young girl being stripped of your integrity, being broken, being sexually molested, but not one, not two, not three, but four individuals you are related to, and having your family not be there to support you and see that some sort of justice comes your way. I don't know. And like I said, she's not the only one because my inbox is filled. You guys have seen me post stories of women needing help who have been raped, sexually assaulted, and so many other things, seeking help. It is something that happens a lot. And in 2024, I think we need to get serious about stuff like that. We just talk about it, but then what we don't realize is we're aiding and abetting and enabling these sort of behaviors because we don't seem to take things like this seriously enough. Imagine having to go through life as a young woman, and then we wonder why we have so many broken people and people who don't know how to love and people who are scared, to open themselves in different ways to other people. It's not something you'll ever get over. People seem to think, okay, well, it happens and you'll get over it. You live with that for the rest of your life. And that can affect relationships. Any relationship that you think about having or want to have, it can affect you unless you get the proper counseling and therapy. But it's a burden you carry on your back. She even went on to say that one of the perpetrators gave her parents money for her college school fees and felt like that was enough to keep quiet. She went on to say that he gave my parents $3,500 for my college school fees and felt like this is or should be a means of keeping me quiet. Where he said that if he knew this was going to happen after it came into the public, he would not have given them the money. And you would think after you've grown and somebody says to you, hey, this is what you did to me, you would get some sort of apology or some sort of remorse from the person. You get nothing. It's like they don't see what they did was wrong or how it affected you in any way, shape, or form. And if you think that was bad enough, when I thought, okay, well, that was at the end of it, she was also molested by a female aunt. So, like I said to her, listen, I applaud you. I really applaud you for speaking out. I honestly applaud you for speaking out. And sometimes you don't know how strong you are until that is the only option you have. My heart literally broke for her because sometimes you see people reacting and doing certain things and you think they're just acting out, but you don't know. It's like a mask. It's like a cover up to the pain that they feel and the things that they're going through on a daily basis. And all one can do is really pray that people like that get closure. And with that closure, it requires therapy and counseling. You can't do it on your own. You really can't do it on your own. you really need, you really need some sort of, you know, counseling or therapy to get through something like that. I honestly applaud her for speaking her truth. Like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not here to point fingers or what have you, but I'm just going on what she said in her story. And I applaud her because she's not the only one. There are lots of young women in Grenada experience who have experienced or experience it as we speak, some sort of molestation by family members, cousins, uncles, brothers. It's like there's some sex demon that people feel compelled to satisfy. It's like you can't think logically. You can't be like, okay, this is my blood, this is my relative. You're so ruled by that particular part of your body that you don't care how much you damage this person. How do you even live, continue to live a normal life? And what makes it worse, these are people who have children. And not just boy children, but girl children. I wonder if they ever stop and think how would they feel as a parent if something like that was done to their child. How would you feel knowing that you did that to somebody else's child and instead of trying to make amends? I mean, there's nothing you can really do, but at least an apology, it's a start. Showing some sort of remorse, it's a start. It's a part of the healing process. Getting closure is part of the healing process. And to not have Queen Bee, which one? Says another. Yes, there are young men too who are also victims of molestation. Both men and women. There are also young men who are also victims of sexual molestation by family members. And I will never understand as a parent how you protect somebody instead of the person you carried inside of you for 9 months, the pain you bore to have that child. And instead of doing everything in your power to ease that pain, you're more interested in protecting the family image. I could never get it. It's something you see all the time. How do you protect somebody else and not your own flesh and blood? That makes absolutely no sense to me as a mother, how you would stand with somebody who sexually molested your daughter or your son, all in the name of protecting an image. And you do nothing else to ensure your child gets some sort of therapy, counseling, or support. I can't imagine going through life knowing this happened to me. I've been sexually molested, and my mother joined the perpetrator side, and I was left to fend on my own, to go through whatever I'm going through on my own. I don't get it. I really don't. I really don't. I don't get it. How do you live with yourself? How are you okay with that? But like they say, at the end of the day, you know what? Sometimes you may be related by blood to certain people, but those people don't always mean you well. So when you find your path, you've got to follow it. And if it means cutting off and distancing yourself, then by all means do it to protect your peace and to protect your sanity. Because if family can't have your back, who will? If your own family can't have your back, I mean, like, who will? Mel says it's very disturbing how much different stories we hear about family members covering up for each other, knowing what's going on. Exactly. How do you know something is going on? A child comes to you and says, Mommy, Daddy, Granny, whatever, so and so did this to me. Because she called names. The entire post is filled with all of the people's names involved. And I'm saying to myself, okay, something like that that is not true. How do you just dash out names? There has to be some truth to it. To put yourself out there like that and just name names from the chief, the cook, the bottle washer, everybody got dashed into that post. Everybody who was a part of it or who knew about it. At the end of the day, I hope this brings her some sort of peace, because you can see she's hurting, because this is not the first time I've seen her post something along those lines, but this is the first time I've seen her come out and just like name names. And the long and short of the story is, if that's what it is and that's how it happened, your family failed you. I don't think there's any other hurt you can experience than having, you expect friends, you expect acquaintances, you expect that from people. You don't expect that from family. Your family may have failed you, but a higher being got you, because trust me, to live all this time carrying that burden, there has to be somebody else holding your hand. Imagine going over this over and over in your mind every day and trying to live a normal life. There has to be a higher power at play here, because you can't even turn to your family for comfort, for support. You see people every day and you just don't know their story. That's why they say sometimes, just be kind regardless. Be kind for no reason, just be kind. You don't need anything. Because with all the smiles, and I keep saying to people, stop getting carried away by people's postings and nice pictures and what have you on social media. It is not a true reflection of who they are. It's not their real life situation. We project a lot, we posture a lot on social media. We don't give a true account of our daily lives. It's not real. Because the thing about it is, like someone said a while ago, there are a lot of people who are victims, but they're afraid to speak out because we don't know when to draw the line, right? You would experience, take for instance, me, like if you did something, right? You acknowledge you did something, you know what you did was wrong. You're already paying for it. And the minute time you have a fallout with somebody or somebody have you in their mind or whatever, they don't like you for whatever reason, they use that as a beating stick, as if you don't beat yourself up enough, as if you don't feel guilty enough. People have lost all sense of empathy in the name of relevance and likes and love on this thing we call the metaverse. So you come out, you speak on what has happened to you, and next 2 weeks, the next day, y'all in your little group chats, kikiking about it, or you follow up with the person and then you go live and that's why your father, your brother, your uncle did this to you and you this and you that and the other. We have a lot of hurt people walking around, and they always say hurt people, hurt people. So unless we deal with our hurts, we will always be lashing out and looking for an outlet. But at some point, we have to stop and take accountability and deal with our hurts and see where it stems from and look towards healing. We can't live the rest of our lives pointing fingers at everybody else. Oh, this person did that to me, that person did that to me. We have to at least one day stop and decide to grab the bull by the horns and deal with our hurt, the source of our hurt. And if it means cutting off people, whatever the case might be, do what is necessary to protect your sanity and your mental health. It is super, super important. Because that's one of the reasons a lot of victims suffer in silence. The shame society, you have shame people who are already ashamed. And some of you, it's all fun, it's all laugh, it's anything for tukikiki. Not that your life is better in any way, shape, or form. The only difference is that person life is out in the public. Their business is out there. Take, for instance, me. But because you think people don't know, you were there kikiking and having a good time at somebody else's expense. Doesn't doesn't mean that your life is squeaky clean in any way, shape, or form. There are a lot of people projecting their own hurts and their own problems and their issues and their lack of self-esteem or whatever else is going on. They project it onto other people to make themselves feel good. But my favorite word, like I always say, wherever you go, there you are. So as much as though you try to project on me or somebody else who's going through whatever, your problems remain unattended to. You're neglecting your problems because you think if I focus on somebody else's, might know it's not going to go away. Wherever you go, there you are. Your problems will be there with you regardless where you go. That's just the point. So sometimes the shame that society makes people feel instead of empathizing and helping. And before I go, somebody brought something to my attention. I was looking at a piece on one of the news outlets about a young lady who was in this fire and got burnt and died, and was listening to some of the things we've lost. It's nice to hear 50 and up and up and up and up and up. And it's nice to see the patriotism, but if that is not something that we transfer to being nice people, we could sing up and up and up and up and up for the next 50 years. And if we don't change who we are, it makes no difference, because we are singing up and up on patriotism and love for each other, and somebody's there dying, and instead of doing everything in our power to help, we pull out our phones first when we capture whatever we want captured so we can share. Then we attend to the person instead of putting the phone down and trying to help the person first. And then you could probably give an account of what happened. Our first instinct is to pull a phone out. Somebody could be getting their death. And our first instinct is to pull our phones out to record instead of being a good human and helping a situation. Social media has really created monsters, and I'm sorry to say. There are advantages and disadvantages to it, but lately the disadvantages is like it's more, it outweighs the advantages. We have become so caught up in being seen and being relevant to people who don't care. A lot of you seem to think that people care. People don't. We provide entertainment, you provide something for them to laugh at, look at, read at, but at the end of the day, how many actually coming to your inbox to ask you if you're okay? Nobody. Nobody. So, yes, while, the platform is there to be used to post, some people are getting really, really sucked into this make believe world where our sense of humanity and kindness and everything is like down the tubes. We couldn't care less about that. Everybody wants to be the class clown. Everybody wants to be entertainer of the year for to laugh and to like and other people's expense. You couldn't care less what it's doing to that person mentally, how it's affecting them. Couldn't care less. And it's sad, It's really, 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 really sad that that's who we are, even after 50 years. 50 years and our mentality, instead of progressing, it's regressing. We're supposed to be smarter than the phones we have in our hands. We're supposed to be smarter beings. Even animals have more empathy than some of us. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's almost like we in this dispensation, you have to like take care of you first. Focus on you, because ain't nobody out there doing it. So you have to focus on you first. Make sure that you're okay first, mentally, physically, make sure that you're okay first before even thinking about anything else. Because these days, people, that song by Libiana, every time I play it, it's like it's my go-to song to remind me that don't get too caught up in people, because as much as people love you today, they could hate you tomorrow. So let's not put so much time into other people. The time we're putting into other people, let's put a little bit more. Let's pour a little bit more into our glasses. A lot of us, our glasses are half full or it's empty, but we're filling up other people's cups and glasses, and that makes no sense. Ricky, you think there's hope? I don't know. Maybe I've become jaded, but maybe because I've been subjected to it so much that I've lost all hope, kinda. It's probably not a good thing, but that's just the way it is. And it's funny enough, that's gonna be my, my post today. You know, I'm officially in my quiet era. I don't have much to say about anything anymore. It is what it is, and life goes on. You gotta focus on you and make sure that you're okay. So, dear lady on the live, I just want to wish you healing and grace and the strength to move on. I pray that you get the closure you need and you're going to seek the help that you need so you can live a healthy, fulfilled life. Because if we continue to carry burdens and carry our load, we will never ever have that opportunity to live a meaningful life. You got to shed the load. All right, so I just wanted to do that today. And to anybody else who's going through similar or victims of rape, etc., I hope you too will find the strength and courage to speak out. Do not be daunted. Don't let family or whoever tell you to stay quiet. Report it. Report it. Don't, could be who, doesn't matter who it is. Once you are a victim, speak up. Once you are a victim of any sort of abuse, sexual or whatever, speak up. All right? I'll see you guys on Monday. Thanks so much for listening to me. And I hope that somebody after this will find the strength and courage to stand up and speak their truth. Alrighty, guys. Have a great Thursday. I'll see y'all next week, God's will. Thank you so much to our friends at Beacon Insurance for making it possible. And thank you to everybody in the room for accommodating me. I appreciate you guys always. Have a good one, all right?